We welcome you into Grant Park in Westfield, Indiana, the site of this year's first ever Indiana Girls State Flag Football Championships presented by the Indianapolis Colts. I'm Kelsey Casper, thrilled to be joined by Jared Thomas for the first ever championship game in girls flag football. It's the Lawrence North Wildcats taking on the Penn Kingsmen. Both of these teams have already played 2 games today and fought their way to the state title matchup. And Jared, how cool of a moment is it for these young women to be a part of not only the first ever postseason, but be in the first state final in flag football?
It goes right in line with what the Indianapolis Colts had in mind when they wanted to be a part of this movement. And it really just is about bringing people together from all walks of life, something that has been able to galvanize all communities, giving these young ladies an opportunity to compete playing football via flag football. And now, what do you know? You have a state championship final for the first time ever here in the state of Indiana.
And you touched on it, the support that they have received from the Indianapolis Colts. The $100 million donation to grow this sport has been instrumental in its development.
It's something that is changing right now before our eyes. This sport will continue to change. It's going to be in the Olympics at some point in time. So it's just the Indianapolis Colts buying into that vision for the long haul and saying, hey, we're going to take ownership of that, encourage teams to join in. And once again, where it is right now is going to look a lot different in the next 2 or 3 years and the coming years after that, just because it starts with the little mustard seed, and then that thing grows over time into something way bigger than what anyone could ever imagine.
Well, excited to see the future, but also excited to see these two teams match up against each other. We're just moments away from the state championship between Lawrence North and Penn. We'll step aside right here on Colts.com, but girls flag football action when we come back.
What's up, everyone? It's Zaire Franklin, Global Flag Ambassador and linebacker for the Indianapolis Colts. Girls flag football is officially an emerging sport in Indiana, but we need your help getting it to the next level. To make girls flag a sanctioned sport, we need 100 schools participating. Want to get your school involved? Visit Colts.com/girlsflag.
Wildcats gearing up for their state championship matchup against the Penn Kingsmen. As I mentioned, both of these teams have already played 2 games today. Penn came away with a win over Terre Haute South and then just beat Snyder in the semifinals. Lawrence North started the day with a dominant performance over Munster and then ran away with a win over New Prairie to punch their ticket into this final game. Lawrence North will start on offense, Penn on defense. As a reminder, a running clock here in flag football. 2 24-minute halves. Clock stops at 2 minutes. First play is a pass, and it's complete to Priam Mibbs. Both teams looking to get to that yellow line. Those are the first down markers.
Goes from about the 10-yard line to the 30-yard line, and then from the 30-yard line to midfield, and the same thing on the other side. So those are going to be the distances to get you the next first down as we get things kicked off here in the state championship final.
This Lawrence North offense is led by their freshman quarterback, Heaven Beard. She hands it off to Jada Wheat, their running back, before she is stopped by Chloe Klein.
For those joining us in for tonight's action in the state final, this is a team in the Penn Kingsmen that in the last game that we had with them against the Snyder Panthers forced 3 turnovers. And in those 3 turnovers via interceptions, they scored on all 3 of them. And then for this Lawrence North team, tied up at 16-12 in their favor against New Prairie. Ended up scoring late in that game, but that is a game where Heaven Beard, the quarterback, was able to throw 2 touchdowns and then also got a pick 6 on the defensive end. So the 2 forces meeting in the middle. I think we have the best 2 teams here going up against each other tonight.
She's trying to find a teammate here, and it is caught, nearly picked off, but into the hands of Wheat. And it's a first down for the Wildcats.
One thing that Heaven Beard will learn pretty quickly is Macy Little, and that time it was not Little, it was actually 13, Aaliyah Dawson, Olivia Dawson that was right in the middle of this defense for the Kingsmen. But this is a defense for Beard that's going to have to be on high alert, because if you throw reckless footballs into the air, they do more times than not come down with them.
They're going to go for it, but it's picked off. Intercepted by Olivia Dawson. And just like last game, Penn defense starting out with a bang.
Olivia Dawson on the play before, similar to the game that we had, a pass deflection the play before, and then not too long after the defense gets an interception. It just so happened to be the same exact player going up, high pointing the football, getting a turnover to start this one off.
I think Lawrence North is going to learn quickly how talented of a defense this Kingsman team is, because we saw last game, they didn't bring too much pressure on the quarterback, didn't blitz too much. But downfield, they were picking off balls left and right.
It was just keeping everything in front of them, sort of a high zone, 3-4 defenders across, allowing the offense to take advantage of everything in front of them, and then being aggressive once that ball reaches the climax in the air.
Now we get to see our first look at this Penn offense and quarterback Quinn Driscoll. First play, she hands it off to Logan Rumble for a minimal gain. Rumble had a touchdown, the lone rushing touchdown for Penn back in the second half of their semifinal game. Pressure's coming. Driscoll will run it. Still up. Finally, her flag is grabbed by Lanaya Gaines.
A bit of a different monster for the Kingsmen with this Lawrence North team. A lot more bodies, more athleticism. These are all former basketball, softball, and track athletes that have now translated their athleticism onto the football field for this flag football state championship game.
Short pass completed to Alex Werner. That was a target Driscoll really liked in that first half.
Two back-to-back touchdowns just before the half in their semifinal matchup. So that connection was clicking on all cylinders early in the game when they really started to create some separation against the Panthers.
And the defense from Lawrence North forcing a fourth down. So that will flip the field and Wildcats will take over. So instead of punting it, this basically serves as a punt. And the referees will bring it back downfield for the Wildcats to take over on their second drive.
That ball is always going to be placed on the 14-yard line. Important to note, because in our last game, we actually had a delay of game on a punt attempt where the Kingsmen took a delay of game, and instead of being on the 14, the ball was actually on the 19-yard line. So important to know that initial starting point of the 14 in punting situations.
Pressure comes. Really getting a look at the speed from Beard as she scrambles for a first down. Heaven Beard on the season has thrown for 32 touchdowns coming into today, also running for 4.
It's important to know that Heaven Beard grew up playing actual football with the guys in the neighborhood. So this is not someone that is going to shy away from the moment or needing someone to step in and make a play. She understands concepts. She understands how football should be played. So this is not too big of a stage for Beard.
2 rushers come, but the pass is caught. And flag immediately ripped off. That time it was Kenira Ridley with the reception.
As you can see, the Kingsmen, they have 2 defenders back and high, allowing the rest of the underneath defenders to roam a little bit, to match up as they see fit, or to zone off depending on what formation they get from the offense. Keep an eye on that as they continue to keep Lawrence North in front of them.
Beard looking for options, directing traffic, and the pass is caught for a first down. Abrielle Alexander with the catch for the Wildcats as they move the chains.
Similar to what we saw from the Snyder Panthers in the previous game in our semifinal matchup, too many times receivers are going down and essentially just burying themselves side by side with the defense instead of making themselves available underneath the coverage and timing that with the actual drop of the quarterback, finding rhythm throws down the field, something that Lawrence North is going to have to do.
Beard fakes the handoff, takes a shot at the end zone, and touches the fingertips of Abril Alexander, but falls incomplete.
And I'll be honest, Kelsey, that was a rocket as a right-handed quarterback like Heaven is going to her left, trying to find Alexander down the left sideline to be able to flip her hips and get the ball as far as she did. That was impressive. Surprised that Alexander was not able to come down with that one.
She overthrew her.
She did. She did. Had every opportunity to connect.
So it's second down, ways to go. Wheat hands it back to Beard. She'll run it, but a good stop defensively. Chloe Klein holding up the flag in the air.
It's always an emphatic raise of the hand once the flag is captured to let everyone know, hey, that spot stops right here, because this is the exact point in which the flag was snatched.
Direct snap back to Beard. She's gonna take another shot. She's got a teammate open. Pass caught just shy of the goal line. Alexander this time able to bring the ball in for a big first down.
It's all about the timing. Wheat got back to the top of her drop, and Alexander timed the route perfectly, just running it in front of Klein's face. Wheat timed the ball perfectly. Alexander came down with it, and seeing something that we didn't see in that first game with the Kingsmen. It's the opponent marching into scoring territory with an opportunity to go up early.
Beard. And it's intercepted. Picked off in the end zone by Macy Little. Coming in and just taking the ball out of the opponent's hands.
So much of what Lawrence North has done has been in the hands of Heaven Wheat and what she's been, Heaven Beard, with what she's been able to do at the quarterback position. But she has not run into Macy Little. That's now 3 interceptions in 2 games and still counting, because this one just got started.
So Penn will take over, and they keep points off the board for the Wildcats. We see that double pitch down the far sideline. It's Rumble on the carry.
Coach Maggard making the Wildcats defend the run like we saw in that semifinal matchup. The running game is going to be a factor for the Kingsmen. It's just a way to keep the defense honest and not just key in on Driscoll dropping back as a passer.
Driscoll, quarterback keeper, first down. Stopped by Iana Clancy.
You force Driscoll's hand to become a runner. She's shown time and time again that's exactly what she can do. Watched her interact with some of her family in between games from the semifinal to the final, and the family young lady that she is, she's handing out some serious work as a competitor in this final game.
She'll take off again. Gain of a couple of yards, second down. This Penn team is undefeated on the year so far. Came in today 10-0, have now improved to 12-0. Pressure comes, pass complete. Logan Rumble again. Flag ripped off by Lanaya Gaines.
Wildcats not allowing too much wiggle room once these Kingsmen are able to catch the football and turn up the field. By the time they do that, defenders are swarming to snatch those flags.
Third down. Kingsmen got to get about 10 yards. They bring the pressure, but it doesn't affect Driscoll. All the way into the end zone, it's Lauren Petrus for the Penn touchdown.
A receiver that we hadn't seen in the semifinal matchup is able to spin out of the tackle attempt and then elude another defender and gets in for the touchdown in dramatic fashion. All of the Kingsmen supporting cast here in the stands and on the sideline, excited for their crew to strike again offensively, going up 6-0 on the Wildcats.
Driscoll taking off. She's in. Extra point is good for Penn. And the Kingsmen strike first here in the first half.
Once again, all of the points, the majority of the points, that is now 35 points in 2 games in the last couple of hours. 28 of those points have come off of turnovers. That just shows you what this defense can do and how it has led to offense thus far in championship time for the Penn Kingsmen.
The Kingsmen on the season averaging a state-high 42 points per game on offense. They have executed so far on this Saturday. Evan Beard taking a long shot downfield. Make that interception number 2. Olivia Dawson coming down with it, and it's another turnover for Lawrence North.
All this defense is doing is just daring Heaven Beard to throw the ball downfield and banking on their athletes being better than Lawrence North's. And what I would say, in as many possessions, it's been 3 turnovers created by this defense for the Kingsmen.
We need an interception tracker for this Penn's team.
That's now 6. And still counting.
Is that 3 in this game?
Yes.
I missed one. See, I need a tracker. Driscoll, downfield. It's caught. It's Dawson. Getting it done on both sides of the field for Penn.
Very simple formula for Quinn Driscoll. If you're going to play off and allow me to pick you apart with my arm, then I can find Olivia Dawson down the field, high pointing right on your head top, Lawrence North. Outstanding job, and almost is able to rumble for some more yards for another score for the Kingsmen.
The handoff. Cammie Bauer on the run. Just shy of the goal line. About 3 yards to go. Driscoll finds Dawson, and it's a touchdown. What a couple massive plays by junior Olivia Dawson. The interception, a huge catch, and now a touchdown.
Seems fitting that Olivia Dawson gets the first interception, the third interception, another big catch on this drive, and then caps it off with a touchdown reception from Quinn Driscoll.
Trying to get the extra point. Driscoll can't find anyone, but patient with it. Connects with Petrus in the corner.
If you're going to play man-to-man coverage in flag football, you better be ready for a marathon, because it's all about nonstop movement, and that's exactly what Penn did here. why they were able to break free at the very end. Driscoll finding another target in Petrus in the back of the end zone for the extra point, going up 14-0.
2 scores in a matter of a few minutes for Penn, who is starting out this state championship game with a lot of momentum. We'll see how the Wildcats and freshman Heaven Beard respond. She'll take a short pass. They give it back to Beard. She takes off. She has a first down. Little crafty move from the offense.
Creativity, a word that you said in our previous game, going behind the line of scrimmage pass right back into Beard's hands, showing the athleticism to get the first down.
Beard in their last game had 2 passing touchdowns. Trying to find the end zone for the first time in this game. Fakes the handoff, goes over the defense. Pass caught by Jocelyn Ample.
The one thing that you can't do is lose sight and focus on what you were able to do before you threw one of those interceptions if you're Lawrence North, and that was big plays all the way down the field, finding Alexander, getting yourself in goal-to-goal situation, not able to punch it in, but it gives you the confidence, understanding that you got down there.
Evan Beard looking for options. Penalty flag is thrown, and the pass goes in and out of the hands of Aaron Cannon.
But that was just Heaven Beard not understanding or knowing where she was on the field. A yard after midfield was the line of scrimmage, and she had a legal forward pass position as she was still trying to find some receivers down the field. So just a lack of awareness by Lawrence North on that second down attempt.
So the penalty will push him back 5 yards.
Third down attempt, I'm sorry.
Beard. Pass goes incomplete. Ridley had 2 defenders around her, and Penn forces a 4th down.
There's 3 layers to this Kingsman defense. There's the initial line of scrimmage defenders. There's 1 defender in the middle as the second layer, and then it's the 3rd layer of safety help over the top. And just for whatever reason, teams aren't taking advantage of rhythm throws, which is simply just getting the ball as a quarterback and letting it go by the time those receivers get past that second line of defense. Instead, they elect to just run down and wait for Heaven Beard to find them, but they just haven't had success in that department thus far.
That ended up being a big penalty that affected what started as a great drive for Lawrence North. Instead, the Kingsmen take over. Pass downfield is somehow caught and pulled down by Dawson. Olivia Dawson has just been everywhere in this state final game.
She just will not be denied. You throw that football up, you can bank on Olivia Dawson going up to get it. And even some resistance from Heaven Beard, it still was not enough. Impressive effort thus far by Dawson on both offense and defense.
Here's the handoff. Bauer with some speed on the outside. She's still up. Touchdown, Kingsman. Penn fans loving what they're seeing from this offense.
I would love it too if you see how many attempts that they tried to get her flag and just had no luck. Bauer taking it all the way on the handoff, getting everyone involved here in Grand Park.
Penn going for the extra point. Driscoll so patient with it. Receiver's trying to get open, but she overthrows her intended target of Cammie Bauer. So Penn can't convert, but it's still a 20-0 lead with just over 3 minutes to go in the first half.
Penn has showed once they get going, they are a hard force to stop. So many weapons, and when they're going up, mossing everyone on offense and defense, left and right, they present even more problems for Lawrence North.
We spoke about it in the last game. This Penn program, in their first year, had 42 players come out and try out. They actually had to cut a few, unfortunately, because they just couldn't have that many players on their roster. They're dressing 25. They've got a big bench, a great support system cheering them on here in the stands. And Coach Jeremiah Maggart, who actually coaches the wrestling team at Penn, got talked into coaching this flag football team. He says he hasn't had this much fun coaching in a long time.
It's just a way for everyone to get involved. I continue to hear this word inclusion when it comes to this flag football experience. It's just another way for those students at school that may not enjoy going to class, that may not have a particular sport that they love playing, but flag football has provided an outlet for them to be included, to compete. And obviously this is a historical history book moment for everyone involved, because no matter who wins or loses, you are a part of the first ever state championship. That has to mean something to all of these players and the families and communities represented.
Very well said. As we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, this sport continuing to grow. Right now, it is considered an emerging sport. 78 teams across the state of Indiana competed this year. That went up from just 27 the year before, and they only started with 8 back in 2023. Looking to become a fully sanctioned sport by the IHSAA. Beard, frustrated, trying to find an open teammate. Passes it off. It's caught by Jada Wheat. She's still up, making moves with her feet. And finally, her flag is stripped. Turning nothing into something on that play.
But what you started to see from Lawrence North was a level of dejection, not having as much success. This is a team that in sectionals dominated their opponents, a combined score of 110-13. That was against North Central, Shortridge, and Ritter. Right now they're being dominated, but all it takes is someone like Jada Wheat to go make a play like she did there, and maybe that will get the momentum going for everyone to get back interested in this contest.
On first down, Beard throws it up, goes through multiple hands but falls incomplete.
The way that football is traveling in the air, if you're the Kingsmen, you have to get excited every time you see it up in the air, because if you've already picked off 3, any tip ball presents another chance to pick another one off.
And that will bring us to our 2-minute warning timeout. Well, it has been all Penn in this game on both sides of the ball, and they lead Lawrence North 20-0 here in the first half.
Give me 3! Why are you here?
Knowing that, the women's involvement and as well as flags involvement in the game that we love is going to continue to grow and grow.
Now there are 17 sanctioned states in high school girls flag, and then you add on that it's going to be an Olympic sport at the next Olympics, which is huge. I think it's a really exciting time to jump in and be at the forefront of this.
1, 2, 3.
Did you know that 1 of every 5 adults in the U.S. experience a mental health condition every year? It's important to know they are common and treatable. In the sports world, mental health conditions impact 10 players on your favorite NFL team, 5 players on your favorite Major League Baseball roster, and 1 player in every NBA starting lineup. Mental health affects all of us and is nothing to be ashamed of. It's important to understand. It's important to listen. It's important to talk about.
2 minutes left in this first half of the state championship girls flag football matchup between the Penn Kingsmen and the Lawrence North Wildcats. Lawrence North with the ball on second down, trying to find the end zone for the first time in the first half.
This is around the time that frustration starts to creep in. You haven't had the level of success that you think you should at this point and at this juncture. So really doing some soul searching, looking for some answers if you're the Wildcats.
Pressure comes and Beard is sacked. Ryland Hackett coming up with the big stop. 4th and 3rd down.
Lawrence North's got to find a way to get Evan Beard back in the game. As you can see right here at the end, just kind of tosses the ball. That's the level of frustration that you see with the Wildcats right now. Dominating teams for the better part of this entire season. 9-1 on the season so far, down 20-0, and a lot more ground to cover if they expect for this to not get out of hand.
Pressure comes again. Beard able to escape this time. She's still up. Big run from the freshman, who finally gets brought down by Little. Hopefully that can generate some momentum.
As the leader, no matter how young you are, if you're the best player on your team, you have to act as such. And sometimes it's just about taking matters into your own hands against the entire defense and making something happen. Your teammates are dependent on you.
That's what Beard did. Double pressure, pass caught on 4th down. Jada Wheat. And her flag is pulled just shy of the goal line.
It's like those on the hardwood. When you're in a shooter slump, you just need to see one go in. For Lawrence North, they just need to see one cross the goal line to cut into the teeth of this lead right now that the Penn Kingsmen have on them.
They got 4 chances to do so. Beard finds a teammate in the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats. Abrielle Alexander with the catch, and Lawrence North on the board.
If you remember, it was Abrielle Alexander that they found on the drive that got them down into this same territory before the interception was thrown. This time, they're able to capitalize with points with the extra point coming.
I believe they're going for 2. Beard on the run. And her flag stripped. So no extra points for Lawrence North. Score remains Penn 20, Wildcats 6. But still in the final minute, Lawrence North able to put together a drive and execute to find the end zone for the first time.
Has to be a welcome sight if your coach Donnie Mims and your crew feeling like this game got out of control quickly as it did, finding a way to continue to scratch and claw and get some points on the board. And you never know, crazier things have happened as we saw in our last game. It only took 20 seconds to score after a turnover. So if you find yourself in a position to make a play for a turnover, if you're the Wildcats, go make that play and cut into this lead even more.
Driscoll pressured, connects with Bauer. And she is taken down by Lanaya Gaines.
So many different wrinkles for this Penn offense that involves a lot of movement from Quinn Driscoll in the pocket, misdirections into lateral pitches of the ball in the run game, as we see another one here.
Handed off to Dawson. Caught by Petrus. And again brought down by Gaines, but a first down for Penn with 21 seconds left in this one.
Not totally sure if that flag was snatched simultaneous with that ball advancing down the field. Lawrence North probably feeling like that should have been a tackle for loss. But nonetheless, another first down for the Kingsmen.
Driscoll's gonna take a shot at it. Petrus is open, but great coverage. Broken up by Sanaya Oliver. The freshman coming up with a big defensive stop.
Sanaya covering the better part of that open side of the field, does a nice job recovering and covering some ground on that side, going up and making a play on the football, preventing another explosive for the Kingsmen.
6 seconds left in this first half. This will probably be the final play for Penn. And what has been a executed offense for the Kingsmen in the opening minutes. Deep ball again. Falls incomplete as time expires. Dawson was the intended target. The pass falls incomplete. However, it was a great first half for the Kingsmen. It's Penn who's up 20-6 over the Lawrence North Wildcats. Well, that brings us to halftime. We'll step aside for a short break, but when we come back, highlights and second half action right here on Colts.com.
GSSI profile complete.
How much sweat are you willing to lose? Because when you do that, you can surpass the hype. You can inspire generation after generation. You can compete against anything. So how much are you willing to lose? That's how you know. Hey now, say now. How much you willing to win? Hey now, say now. Hey now, say now.
You guys know who 99 is for the Colts? Yeah! What's his name?
I want to be able to inspire our youths in the community, and just having those interactions with those kids, I mean, it can go a long way.
You want to tackle me? It might take all of you guys to try to take
Growing
me
up,
down.
we never had the opportunity to have a lot of professional athletes, still camps, and I just wanted to be able to pay it forward each and every year. And you consistently see some familiar faces from over the past 5 years that we've done this, and obviously having a bunch of my teammates come out and support and create those interactions for them as well. I mean, it's been amazing, and giving back to community is, that's what Mr. Ursay is, that, One thing that I really did love, flag football. I mean, that game continues to grow. But that's actually initially how I started playing football. And going into the 2028 Olympics, flag football is going to be one of the sports competing for a gold medal. So just seeing that part of the game grow, and it's amazing. It's amazing for football, and obviously for the kids that love playing football.
1, 2, 3, go!
Back for second half action inside Grant Park in Westfield, Indiana, the site of this year's first ever Indiana Girls State Flag Football Championships presented by the Indianapolis Colts. I'm Kelsey Casper alongside Jared Thomas, and this is the state championship. At halftime, it's the Penn Kingsmen leading the Lawrence North Wildcats 20-6. And Jared, we have now had the opportunity to see Penn for about a game and a half, and this team is just a well-oiled machine on both sides of the ball. 3 interceptions in that first half and 3 touchdowns.
They're electric. They're not going to sit back and allow you to just make plays in front of them. They're going to be the initiators. They're going to go high point the football on both offense and defense, and that was highlighted by the 3 interceptions that they had in that first half. Almost had 4, but once again, this is a Coach Magger team that's not just going to sit back and watch. They're going to actually participate, and that's exactly why they're up 14 at halftime.
And they were holding Lawrence North scoreless up until the final minute of the first half. Donnie Mims' group executed, and Alexander came up with the touchdown. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of these highlights from the first half and see how this all played out. On the opening drive, it was a great start from Lawrence North, but then the interceptions just started coming. This one from Dawson.
It's the prayers that are just thrown up, thinking that this ball-hawking crew in the secondary for the Kingsmen aren't going to come up with the better part of a lot of those, and that's exactly what they did. And it wasn't until the end of that first half that Lawrence North finally learned that lesson. Don't even give it up to chance, because as you saw, Olivia Dawson coming down with another one and then turning around on offense and creating another explosive play. They are dynamic in the backfield for their DBs and their receivers.
And like I mentioned, it finally started clicking a little bit for Lawrence North towards the end of the second half, but those catches you mentioned from Dawson, she put together an incredible drive. And then it was the handoff to Bauer The lone rushing touchdown in the first half for the Kingsmen as she took it all the way, giving them the 20-0 lead. But finally, the freshman, Heaven Beard, taking it into her own hands, had a huge run before handing it off to Alexander in the end zone.
Doing a nice job taking the matter into her own hands for a couple of plays on that series, becoming a runner, showing off the athleticism, and then being a passer, finding Abrielle Alexander in the end zone for their only score of the game.
Well, 24 minutes put back on the clock in this second half, as we are minutes away from crowning the first ever state champion in Indiana girls flag football. This is the third year that girls flag football has taken place here in the state of Indiana, but the first ever postseason. It started back in 2023 with just 8 teams competing. The Colts launching their road to 100, committing $1 million towards supporting the launch of 100 girls teams in the state. And now, girls flag football considered an emerging sport with 78 high schools competing across the state this season, including these 2 teams on the field here tonight. You can hear the fans here inside Grant Park. Great turnout for the state championship game. It's been an all-day event that started this morning at 10 o'clock. Penn had the early game. They took down Terre Haute South before defeating Snyder to punch their ticket to the championship. And the Kingsmen will start with the ball here. Bauer on the run, gets the first down. She had a rushing touchdown in the first half as well.
So many times we saw this offense for the Kingsmen start a lot of their possessions in that semifinal matchup with a run play. Just an easy make your layup type of thing to just get the rhythm flowing. And then they go into their attack, as we see them doing once again. Getting it to Cammie Bauer, who has shown once she gets the football, she can take it the distance.
On the ground and in the air. That's another first down for Penn.
I love that Coach Maggart is the wrestling coach, and now he's being asked to lead a state championship flag football team, because oftentimes what you think should go on in football games that you witness as a fan, you bring to life in your own regard with your team and the Kingsmen. And all of a sudden, when you're knocking on the door of being the first ever state champion in the state of Indiana, you're looked at as a genius.
All the credit to that guy. He told me before the game he actually got talked into coaching this team by the strength coach at Penn. But he loves the way these girls get after it in the weight room, the culture they have built around this team. And it's showing here on the biggest stage in the state final matchup. Handoff faked, but then given to Bauer. It's a touchdown. 2 on the day for Cammie Bauer. Oh, but a penalty flag on the field. We'll see if this gets taken back. It will.
And I'm sure a welcome sight for Coach Donnie Mims and his crew. Almost giving up another touchdown, but some laundry hitting the deck, allowing them to continue to fight to get another stop defensively, which they are in dire need of with this running clock in the second half in this state championship matchup.
So points off the board. Penn will do it again on second down. Here comes the rush. Pass caught by Dawson. And her flag was taken down. And a Wildcat down on the field. The flag was stripped by Jada Acaforo. as she gets looked at by the training staff. Where the Colts football development team helps recognize, educate, and develop the youth and high school football environment throughout all of Indiana. To learn more about football development opportunities and events, visit colts.com/football development. Also, calling all 5 to 15-year-olds. Colts Flag Football Leagues, presented by Peyton Manning's Children's Hospital, offers accessible and developmental opportunities for those wanting to learn the game of flag football. With over 20 locations across Indiana, visit colts.com/flag to learn more about leagues near you and upcoming opportunities for Colts Flag football participants.
Kelsey, I thought it was interesting as we talked a little bit before the game, especially with Donnie Mims, head coach for Lawrence North. It was actually an Indianapolis Colts football game that he witnessed a couple of years ago that got the inspiration going for him to have the desire to coach a flag football team. It was Ben Davis and Shortridge at halftime. The next thing you know, his athletic director was asking him about coaching the team later in the spring. So I just think unintentionally or intentionally, the Indianapolis Colts and their involvement with this flag football has just gone through the roof. And I would assume, just like we are a copycat league and all that the things that we do, some other leagues and teams are going to do the same with some of these same efforts that they've seen from the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, they've seen it on display for the last few years. They're seeing it in this postseason and how the Colts have just supported this sport and these programs. And you had mentioned that initial Lawrence North team only had 5 girls on the team. 5 girls, and eventually it has grown to a flourishing program with a deep roster.
5 girls, including Priya Mims, the daughter of Coach Donnie Mims, being a part of that initial inception of those girls that were interested in being on the team. Posted it on social media, and he said it spread like wildfire. And in alignment with what the Indianapolis Colts want and opening doors to some college scholarships, this is a program with Lawrence North that has done that, already sending 4 girls to the University of St. Francis in Fort Wayne on scholarships playing flag football.
Driscoll takes it herself to the end zone. And Penn extends their lead in the second half.
Just a complete diversion of attention by Lawrence North, losing track of the playmaking ability of Driscoll, taking it into her own hands and then doing her patented ball over the goal line, signifying that she has scored another one.
So Penn, the last game, went for 1 each time. Lawrence North went for 2. As you see the ball set on about the 3-yard line. Driscoll, back of the end zone, caught. Petrus is there. 27-6, the Penn lead.
Petrus heavily involved in the offensive attack tonight against Lawrence North. In the first game, it was a lot of Bauer, it was Warner, it was Rumba, it was Dawson, it was Horvath. But that just shows you the firepower that these Kingsmen have, that Petrus can step in. Now involve herself in the scoring attack multiple times tonight against Lawrence North.
Yeah, there's a personal foul on Lawrence North as Petrus kind of got shot down in the end zone. Penalties decline. Result of the play is a touchdown. So 20 minutes to go here in the second half. And Lawrence North will take over at the 14. Beard. Pass goes incomplete, intended for Jada Wheat.
I always feel that specific point in the game where the game is really in the balance, and depending on how the ensuing possession unfolds, that could be furthermore of the dominant effect of one team or the further demise of the opponent. Right now it feels like Lawrence North is hanging in the balance. And they're almost ready to give up depending on how this drive ends up.
Important drive here, and it stays alive. Caught by Alexander.
But it's simple. Every time Heaven Beer needs to make a big-time play, she's either looking at herself or she's looking at Abrielle Alexander, who time and time again has made some nice contested catches when it's mattered most.
Still short of the line to gain, so it's second down at about 4. Kingsmen bring pressure. Beard gets the first down before her flag is taken off by Little. But the Wildcats pass midfield.
Just see the athleticism, still keeping her eyes downfield as she's making defenders miss left and right, not able to get her flag, just showing how dynamic she truly is with the football in her hands.
Beard tried to make the lateral to her teammate Wheat. It falls incomplete. So that'll bring up second down. Beard looking downfield, and it's another interception by Dawson. Fourth of the game for this Penn defense. And who else other than Dawson?
That's number 3 on the day for Olivia Dawson. Just tracking the football, just looks so comfortable anytime it's time to go make a play, especially when it's time to high point the football. She's done it time and time again and just provides a serious threat anytime the football goes in her diameter of coverage.
So the Kingsmen will take over the handoff. Rumble on the outside, she's still up. And a huge gain for Logan Rumble. And a penalty flag on the field as she was knocked out of bounds.
How many times have we seen Lawrence North going in for the flag, just not able to get it? And that allows the Kingsmen to continue to propel forward. And I think there was just a little bit too much contact on that flag grab attempt by Lawrence North, and that tacked on some extra yardage at the end of the run.
Yeah, we saw some big runs in the first half, or some impressive catches that went for some extra yards, as the Kingsmen were just able to escape the defenders and stay on their feet. "15 minutes to go here in the state final. First ever for girls flag football. Rumble on the carry. Her flag strip. That was Paris Page, one of the captains on this Ellen Wildcats roster. Driscoll in the air. Petrus is there for the score. What a dime from Quinn Driscoll.
Penn just having their way, whatever they want, throwing it up, going to get it, dropping dimes in the bucket from Driscoll to Petrus. Olivia Dawson just being an assassin on defense as a marksman with interceptions. just doing it all, clicking on all cylinders when it matters the most in the championship game. Incredible effort by the Kingsmen.
Further back, Driscoll gonna have to run. She's in. +2 on the board for Penn on a great run from their junior quarterback, Quinn Driscoll.
Another case of Lawrence North thinking they have the flag. The jump cut right there by Driscoll, and then you seeing everyone looking at each other with no flags in their hands, and that's another extra point tacked on to what is now a 29-point lead for the Kingsmen.
The Colts Sunday night 7-on-7 series presented by Forte Sports Medicine and Orthopedics and brought to you in part by Gatorade and the Players Action Fund will be returning for 2026. High school tackle and flag football athletes will be able to continue fine-tuning their skills during the offseason. Check out Colts.com/7on7 to learn more about the program. Lawrence North takes over. On first down, pass falls incomplete, intended for Alexander. And this is a similar outcome to what we saw back in the semifinal game for Penn. They had the big lead at the halftime break over Snyder and then just continued to dominate in the second half.
A similar score that we saw in that semifinal game as well. The only difference is Snyder didn't score their 6 points until the end of the second half. Lawrence North scoring theirs at the end of the first half. This is a little bit different monster, especially with all the marbles on the table for a state championship title.
So that'll bring up third down for Lawrence North. Officials having a word. They stop the clock at 11:52. Well, the IHSAA and the Indianapolis Colts have teamed up to highlight the top high schools officiating crews in Indiana this season. Congratulations to Mark Hooper's crew for being named the September Crew of the Month for Indiana. Learn more about officiating. Visit ihsaa.com/becoming official. Third down. Evans got to run. She's got a first down and more. The big plays from the Wildcats all revolve around their freshman quarterback, Heaven Beard, using her legs.
But this is exactly what she can do. Watch her just go through the entire defense of the Kingsmen and then still almost able to break free before Macy Little was able to take her flag. But shows you if Heaven Beard can get loose, she can do some damage in the open field.
First down, about 3 yards to go from the next line of game. In the air, caught by Alexander. Back-to-back first downs for the Wildcats.
At whatever point Lawrence North will be able to go back and rewatch this game, turn on the game film, they will see this game is a lot closer than they actually are showing right now, just because the lack of focus at times, thinking you have the flag when you don't actually have it, just throwing the ball up when you didn't need to. Those are the plays that really kill you, especially when it's on full display in a championship game.
Beard again is picked off. Dawson again.
Usually you're afraid of your defense being scored on with deep passes, but that's not the case for Coach Maggart and his Kingsman team. Understanding Olivia Dawson is down there somewhere, so if it's just her that is down there in our defense, we feel pretty secure.
What's the interception tracker at?
At this point, it's not even worth keeping count.
I should say, Olivia Dawson interception tracker.
That's
she's
now
just been
number 4.
all over the place for Penn.
5 for the game, but 4 for Olivia Dawson. And probably a record that will stand the test of time forever.
Rumble avoids a tackle. Under 10 minutes to go here in the second half, as Penn is looking to go undefeated this entire season. Coming into this game, we mentioned they were 10-0 on the year. They were the only undefeated team left in the entire state. They beat Terre Haute South to start the day before taking down Snyder, and are just about 8.5 minutes away from a state title. Rumble had to go out and get that penalty flag on the field.
Another thing that's worth noting between these two teams, it's only a few freshmen on the roster in totality for the Kingsmen. On the other side, a lot of underclassmen dominate those that are playing and those that actually fill up the roster. So when I look at the total count for the Kingsmen, I see 5 freshmen that are listed, 6 freshmen that are listed on the roster. When I look over on the other side for Lawrence North, I see about the same number of seniors. So all that shows me is there's a lot of experience, albeit older players on the team for the Kingsmen and just younger players for Lawrence North. So some lessons to be learned if you're the Wildcats.
We mentioned their star quarterback, Heaven Beard, just a freshman. And as this sport continues to grow, I'm sure her career as well will continue to flourish. And a big opportunity to learn here in the state final game. Rumble taken down right at the line of scrimmage.
And if this grows to what a lot of people think that it's going to be, if you ask Coach Donnie Mims, he thinks that as of next year, this will be up to 150 schools. I know they're still working to get to actually be an IHSAA sanctioned sport, that 100-team threshold being the number that officially gets you over the hump. But if it gets up to there, this thing will continue to grow, but there will be more opportunities for Lawrence North to just grow from this experience that they have today.
And I know there are a lot of people, including myself, as my high school was represented today in the state championships. I know I'm far removed from high school, but this is something I totally would have been involved in if I had the opportunity back in the day.
But you're not far removed from the time that you actually interviewed Coach Mims. State championship weekend a year ago around this time, that you had a chance to talk about something that you didn't know would look like it is today. But speak on that a little bit, Kelsey.
Yeah, last year we were working the state finals for football at Lucas Oil Stadium, and I got to interview Donnie Mims during one of the quarter breaks, and I knew really nothing about girls flag football in the state of Indiana, and he sat down, answered my questions, and I really got my first impression of what it was. And at the time, it was so small compared to what it is now, and that wasn't too long ago. So that speaks to the growth in the short amount of time that this is done in Indiana. So it's exciting to see being able to witness the starting point and what this sport is going to become in this state.
A lot can happen in a year's time.
Certainly. Under 6 minutes to go. 35-6, the Penn lead. And it's fourth down. Looks like they're just going to take the delay of game, let the clock run, and then flip the field. Well, the Colts Youth and High School Football Grants is an opportunity for all flag and tackle programs throughout Indiana. Teams and programs can request up to $2,500 for equipment upgrades, facility updates, and other administrative costs. Applications will open in March, so tune in to colts.com/footballgrants to learn more. So the Kingsmen take the delay of game penalty on fourth down. And Lawrence North will flip the field and take over. Some early celebrating from Penn. Not sure if there was some type of mercy rule, but regardless, does not apply here as we still have under 5 minutes to go. That'll bring up second down. About 3 yards to go for Lawrence North. Beard gets the first down. Zigzagging her way downfield. For a big gain for the Wildcats.
Heaven Beard is just a freshman. There are a lot brighter days ahead for the youngster playing quarterback for this flag football team. And the Wildcats of Lawrence North, just her ability to contort her body and defenders to escort them out of the way so she continues to gain ground going north and south. Just a special talent she is for this Lawrence North team and will be for the next few years.
Beard, quick throw, back to Beard. First down and more, using her legs again.
Once again, when Beard gets the football in open space, you see what she can do. Just seems like she's moving a lot faster than everyone else. All the while, everyone reaching for her flag, but not able to be successful. Beard, just a special talent with the football in her hands.
Beard in the air. Pass is caught. And penalty flags come in. Kanaria Ridley, senior, making a nice grab. Or being hit hard.
Once again, in the spirit of competition, especially with flag football, trying to keep the contact out of it, and that's a pretty vicious hit right there, and it's going to tack on some more yards at the end of it, but trying to keep that part out of this flag football competition. Go for the flags, not any bodily contact.
Well, with that catch and penalty, that puts Lawrence North in great field position as we hit the 2-minute warning. Wildcats trying to put some more points on the board, but Penn still in the lead, 35-6.
He's got one man to beat. He may go 10-5, touchdown. When we say this out. Rainbow down the right side lane. Underneath that is Alec Pierce, touchdown. That pass is intercepted by Kenny Moore. Josh Downs, touchdown, I-N-D-Y.
Caitlin, I'm here to show you all the best places in Indy, like the Peyton Manning Children's Hospital ER.
Great place to go for a fever, am I right?
Or a common cold. Get it? Like a common cold? Tough crowd.
Can I have an autograph?
Of course.
Caitlin, it kind of seems like you already know your way around.
A little, but my name's not in the hospital yet.
Peyton Manning Children's Hospital, a new and expanded ER to serve more of Indiana's kids.
Colt, like cold, that's the joke, right?
35-6, the score with 2 minutes to go in the first ever girls flag football state championship. Lawrence North with an opportunity to score here. About 4 yards to go to reach the end zone. Beard right in front of her. Pass caught for a touchdown. It's Priya Mims.
We talked about Priya at halftime being one of the original 5 for this Lawrence North flag football team. Daughter of Donnie Mims, head coach for Lawrence North, doing a nice job now as a senior. Last year got to enjoy the first inaugural season for Lawrence North, this time gets her name written into the history books, scoring a touchdown in the first state championship flag football game.
Beard just in and out of the hands of Mims. So the score remains 35-12. Lawrence North able to find the end zone in the final minute of the state championship match.
If you're following along with us on the broadcast, I would prepare yourselves for what's going to be an even louder uproar from those supporting the Kingsmen. One that was premature, but this one actually going to count, as they will be crowned state champions for the first time ever in the first official state championship flag football game.
See Quinn Driscoll, the quarterback, take a knee. We're sitting right behind, or right in front of, I should say, the Penn fans as they start to celebrate. As the clock winds down to 0, the Penn Kingsmen are the first ever Indiana girls flag football state champions. And the Gatorade bath for head coach Jeremiah Magger in his first season ends up a state champion.
Whether he will admit it or not, that is something that can go on the resume. You are stamped now in the history books forever. We understand what your trade was, but now you up the ante with a state championship run as the head coach. Nice job to the Kingsmen, and congratulations to both teams that made it this far in this first season, inaugural season of a state tournament and champion. Congratulations to everyone that contributed, participated. What a phenomenal event. What a phenomenal initiative by the Indianapolis Colts.
The Penn players coming over to celebrate with their fans and families. The Kingsmen just dominating on both sides of the ball. The interceptions on defense. Numerous touchdowns. They were a complete team from start to finish.
All the way from the top with interceptions to start the game, just how they started the game in the semifinal matchup that we were able to cover, all the way to the end. They were clicking on all cylinders, and it's just so beautiful to watch when you catch a hot streak at the right time and you're able to play your best ball when it matters most. Usually those are the ones that get crowned champions, and that's exactly the case for the Penn Kingsmen.
And congratulations to Lawrence North for making it this far, just their second loss in the entire season. And you had mentioned it, Jared, this is a young team with a lot of potential. Currently in year 2 of the program. So next year, in year 3, just continuing to grow and develop and learn this sport.
It's always learning lessons when you win and when you lose. Obviously, everyone prefers to win, but we understand that's not always the reality. So many learning lessons for Lawrence North, a young team, and very well expect them to be right back where they were today in the future.
(35-12) the final, as we await medals and trophies for the first ever state champions. Inside Grant Park here in Westfield, Indiana. What a fabulous facility to be able to hold this event. Also hold it inside. It's been downpouring outside here in Indianapolis. So great way to get these games in, and big, huge thank you to the Indianapolis Colts for starting these leagues, launching their Road to 100 program, investing in these young women and their teams, and organizing the first ever girls flag football postseason tournament. It started at 10 a.m. this morning and finished here in the championship game between Penn and Lawrence North. As you see, Lawrence North earning their runner-up medals. Heather McGowan heading out the medals, the AD at Ben Davis.
A tradition in high school sports with the IHSAA pinpointing the sportsmanship, athletic directors, and all sports associates in the high school space, crowning champions and runner-ups with the medals, a tradition that I think is truly special here in the state of Indiana, no matter what the state champion sport is or was. Always finding some administrators being at the forefront, handing out those medals.
You see Donnie Mims receiving his runner-up medal, along with assistant coach Destiny Starks. As Penn patiently waiting for their first place medals. Undefeated in their first season ever as a program.
Hadn't got a chance to talk about it in this game, but averaged 42 points per game offensively, only giving up 4 points per game. And I think everyone that watched this broadcast would know exactly why that was the case. The way they go up and attack the football when they're on defense. I love those defenses that don't sit back and wait for something to happen, but they go make it happen. And that was the defense of the Kingsmen and how they approached at least these last two games when it mattered most. And it was on full display. 5 interceptions in a championship game.
The only undefeated team in the state ends up being the last one standing. And Olivia Dawson with a big applause. The undeclared MVP of the state championship game. And for the coaching staff, manager Abigail Ryan, assistant coach Dawn Bernhardt, Jeff Thompson, Matt Bodner, and head coach Jeremiah Magger. And now they get to slap their name right above the title of state championship on the bracket. first ever Indiana girls football state champions, the Penn Kingsmen. And here's Andy Mattis, Senior Manager of Football Development for the Colts, presenting Penn with their state championship trophy. Well, that will do it for us. The final score in the state championship, 35-12. The Penn Kingsmen, the first ever Indiana girls flag football state champions. We thank you for tuning in all day and for the state championship for the first ever girls flag football state championship tournament presented by the Indianapolis Colts. For our entire crew at ISC Network, my partner, Jared Thomas, I'm Kelsey Casper saying so long from Grant Park, where the Penn Kingsmen still celebrating the first ever girls flag football state title.
Before the game, stop by American Family Insurance Touchdown Town, a free pregame and entertainment area for fans of all ages. Located on the north end of Lucas Oil Stadium along South Street, American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.